all the products actually we have here for any connection, any broadband connection. Maybe some words to me. I am working with AVM since 24 years. So I started as a student inside the company and started in the support department in 1998. And so I grew up with all these devices we had at that time for ISDN. So let me bring you the idea of the company and also the philosophy of the company. AVM were founded in 1986 in Berlin, and we still our main department is in Berlin, in Alt-Moabit, one part of Berlin. And so you see our turnover on this slide, and the management of AVM is still in AVM, working with us, yeah, and we are happy that they are supporting us so many times, so many years, and I hope they will stay, let's say, in the next years with us. So important to us is actually the development. So the development of all the stuff we have, all the software we have is done in Berlin. And even the production is in our hand, let's say, in our hands. So let's say, so we have a direct connection from the development to the production line of the hardware. And mostly, almost 100% of the software, development of the software is done in AVM and by our coders, engineers, programmers, and as you can see how the device is working, how stable is the device, and how many features we are bringing every year, sometimes 2 times per year, within a firmware update to the boxes for free for everybody. So, and this combination of software and hardware is making us quite unique worldwide. And since the fact actually that the production is near to us is making us quite special. So we are able to replace the software which is coming with the reference boards, for instance. We are in the position to replace this software. So we have our own engine regarding broadband connections, talking about LTE, talking about 5G, XDSL connections, cable communication, and all this stuff. We are bringing it together with our software and hardware, and so this combination is making actually everybody happy, because we are fast in reaction to the market and to the requests from our customers. And we shouldn't forget also the security option. So we are taking care about our software and our hardware, and all the time we are trying to update this software in the right way for the customers. So, and this is quite special worldwide, I would say. Some pictures for, let's say, what we did, let's say, until 2004. The first Fritz Box we started, it was in 2004. And now we have devices for fiber connection. It doesn't matter what kind of fiber connection. Sometimes you have AON, you have GPON or XGS-PON. So we have answer also to the cable DOCSIS infrastructure. I know that in Greece you don't have so much connections, DOCSIS connections, cable connections, but here in Germany we have a lot of customers are connected to the DOCSIS. And of course, we have accessories like smart home devices for smart home. We have our Wi-Fi mesh solution with the current Wi-Fi standards like AX. And later on, I will show you some of those devices. But maybe you ask yourself what these guys did before 2004. Some of you know the Fritz card. And maybe you know also the active controllers we have. You have also active controllers here. You see here the first one controller from us, from AVM, and you see here the passive controllers for USB connection also. And of course, we had professional devices, let's say for business customers, up to 120 ISDN channels with our T1B controller. And we had, of course, also software for insurance companies with a lot of employees who are working, let's say, not at inside the company, outside the company. And they used mostly our hardware and software. And we had, before 2004, also Bluetooth devices, as you can see here. Let's say these are, with this box, with this PBX, it was a small PBX for ISDN with 4 channels. And for these devices, we start to implement also networking solutions inside one device. And then we had, of course, as you can see here, the first Fritz Box voice available, started with voice over IP also, and then with the VDSL device, power line devices, and AC and AX devices. So let's go to the whole picture, let's say a fast picture to the existing broadband connections. I will start with some countries. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough information, precisely information about the penetration of the broadband connections in Greece, but you can see the whole Europe, actually, the bigger countries, how the penetration of the broadband connection is, and why we have a lot of XDSL variants of our Fritz boxes. So here is one picture. You see Germany, the values are from 2022. At least for Germany, we have only around 5% of fiber optic connections. So this is growing now. And that's the reason why we're bringing out now our new fiber devices to the market. And as you see, cable connection is quite high. Yeah. And of course, around 70% are based on XDSL connection. So if you go through Europe, here's Austria, you see almost the same. Okay, they have a lot more cables, but FTTH, FTT, fiber to the home and to the building. So they start also. And here, Switzerland, still XDSL is quite strong. Okay, they have also fiber connections, a lot of fiber connections. Italy, so almost no cable connections. Yeah, no cable broadband connections. So they have around 80% XDSL, mostly VDSL right now. And of course, they made in the last years a lot of investment in FTTH and FTTP. Netherlands, a little bit different, yeah, but we have the answer to the market. We have also our devices, and it's going quite well also in Netherlands. So Belgium. So this is nice picture actually. So still DSL is surviving. Yeah, let's see what will happen in the next years. Poland, also nice picture actually, and so Spain. So they have a lot of compared to other bigger European countries, a lot of FTTH and FTTP connections. So if you are talking about the providers, internet service providers or telcos, all these telcos I am showing to you here on those pictures in this, let's say in these countries, they are using our Fritz Box actually for any kind of connections. So we have the big player here. So without a Fritz Box inside those companies, I think they will lose almost all the customers, let's say. So I will go faster here from the slides. Let's say directly to the products. So these are pictures. If you are interested to see, let's say these values, so I will forward them. I will forward this presentation later on to the platform to you. So as I mentioned, we have devices for any kind of connection. So we have for XDSL, for cable connections, DOCSIS connections, fiber connections, active AON connection, passive GPON, and of course XGS-PON, which are, let's say, right now the common connection types. And of course, we have devices for LTE combined with VDSL, and of course for 5G. So later on, I will show you some pictures if the time is allowing to do it. Now Siri is disturbing. So here is a picture about, let me go one back, about the solution, the wireless solution with a mesh integration inside our product. So you see how it works. So you just press on the box, on the Fritz box, you press on the repeater, and you have one network. So you have only one SSID. Yeah, even if you have a device with 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, you have directly one wireless LAN SSID and one network without touching with any software on the Fritz box or on your computer. So, and this is making the Fritz box quite user-friendly. So they love it because they just touch it to the power, press one button, and it works. And we have more features on the mesh. So it's not only a mesh for Wi-Fi. So we have also mesh telephony inside the our Fritz OS. So if you go through how was it before you had the mesh? So you have to go to the GUI of the Fritz box or on your router. You have to choose as an end user, you have to choose the repeater. You have to enter your SSID and your password. And if you were lucky, you could connect to, let's say, to the system as a wireless repeater. So the good and the nice feature of the solution we have here is that this solution is modular. So you don't need to buy 3 devices or 2 devices. So you can start with one. Maybe one device is enough to cover your needs inside your house or your office. Installation is quite easy. It is optimized for all the protocols like IPTV, like telephony, like streaming videos, which is coming quite important if you're talking about these days. So everybody is sitting at home or let's say in the office and they are doing something in internet. And streaming is quite important to be, let's say, stable. And this is given by our solution, by the Fritz Box software, and also with the mesh solution. And we have, of course, SSID for guests. And during the communication between the Fritz Box and the repeater, also the Fritz guest access point is transferred to the repeater. And if you go around your house or your office or your garden, all these features are available immediately. So you don't need to switch from your mobile telephone or from your computer to choose different SSIDs or different devices inside your mesh system, which is important actually if you are making calls via the internet, if you're using WhatsApp, if you're using streaming solutions. So everything is going smoothly and you don't feel that you are switched from the master, which is the Fritz Box, you are switched to different or to more than one mesh repeater. So we have a lot of features. I don't want to go to all these names of the features and protocols inside the Fritz Box, but the results are that the end users, they don't feel that they are going around the house. And the Fritz Box is moving them to different access points, because you can use also the repeaters as a standalone access point, not as a repeater, but in the same SSID. So this is actually we do all this stuff, we do it inside the Fritz OS by ourselves in our house in Berlin. By the way, the products, as I mentioned, which is important also to us, they're produced mostly in Germany. The manufacturing is in southern part of Germany, and we have in two European countries, we have additional manufacturing companies. Here's a picture, a nice picture, how modular it is, this solution we have with the mesh. You see, you can have only the Fritz box, and maybe your environment in your house is okay to the existing Wi-Fi access point and to the power of the device. But if you have, let's say, a bigger house, so you can try first with one repeater, and maybe one repeater is absolutely enough. So, and you see here with our power line devices, with our smart switches, so you can have also our telephones, because we have also a lot of deck telephones in our portfolio. So this is one picture, let's say in a small house. Okay, this one is not really big, yeah, but if you have a bigger house, so you can have additional access point in order to have, let's say, the whole coverage of the Wi-Fi if you want. So we are actually, since we are developing every day on our Fritz OS, we are providing to the end users also the, let's say, common and current innovations to a lab Fritz OS. That means the customers, they are sending us requests. We are, as AVM, we are improving the hardware and the software. Let's say we are talking about software. We are improving the software, and we bring every day these features, either our IDs or the IDs of our customers. We are bringing this to the Fritz Lab software. Fritz Lab OS has all the time the newest innovations from AVM, and you will see what we will bring to the upcoming firmware versions after this period of testing is done. And we see that the people, they love the Fritz Lab OS because they see that their wishes are implemented in the next version of the firmware of the Fritz Box. Talking about Wi-Fi 6, I go quite fast through these slides, and maybe we have later time to answer to some questions if you have questions. So we started last year with Wi-Fi 6 integration in our devices. This means we have new hardware, and so we believe and we see actually that Wi-Fi 6 is bringing actually to the router a more stable Wi-Fi connection. It has more speed, yeah, and it is more reliable, it is faster, and of course it is secure, because you have from the beginning WP3 inside the Wi-Fi 6 protocol. Some technical data, or let's say here a picture why we believe that Wi-Fi 6 is getting more and more interesting to everybody. Everybody will have at home, for sure, if you have, let's say, 4 people inside your house, at least you will have 10 devices. Yeah, and these 10 devices, as I talked before, they are streaming videos, they are making calls, and all these devices, they need more throughput. And with Wi-Fi 6, you are getting actually all the needs of the customers integrated in the router. So one example here, I just mentioned here also the Fritz Box 6660, which is a cable box actually, but it has Wi-Fi 6 integrated. So you see on this graph, you see how the benefit is actually of Wi-Fi 6. And on the next slides, I have 2 slides here, more technical. I think this we can discuss later on if you like. So these are, let's say, the inside the protocol, how it works, yeah, depending on the frequencies. But okay, you can see these slides later. Yeah. So we implemented Wi-Fi 6 to our first device with SFP module for fiber connection. The Fritz Box 5530 has one SFP module and SFP interface where you can connect either AON point-to-point fiber connection, or you can connect GPON connection to the interface, or you use the Fritz SFP for XGS-PON. That means the device is actually a modular device. You can switch the SFP module on the customer side, and he can keep his device, the serial numbers, everything is the same, just the interface is different based on his contract, based on his needs, what he wants, and of course based on the offer of the telecom or telcos. So it has 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz integrated. It is a PBX with DECT ULE integrated for smart home and for up to 6 DECT telephones. So, by the way, all our devices, as you can see here, these are devices for cable and repeaters and fibers. All the Fritz boxes, they have an integrated PBX with, depending on the device type. For instance, here you see the DOCSIS cable. This is a 6591, and also here the 5G device. All of them, they have a DECT base station and are ready for making more than at least 4 calls simultaneously, because you can connect 6 DECT telephones to the base station, to the Fritz box, and depending on the model, which model you are using, you can connect 1 analog telephone or 2 analog telephones. And all the devices, all the Fritz boxes, they have fax support integrated. So the Fritz box can get the fax or send the fax. And if the Fritz box is getting faxes, so it can store the faxes on the memory inside the box, or you can connect to the USB interface of the Fritz box up to 3 terabyte hard disks, not only for UPnP inside your network, also for saving faxes or answering machines, because all the boxes have also an answering machine up to 5 answering machines. So you see here our answer to the 5G. So the device is working also in Greece, not only here in Germany or other countries. So we made a lot of tests, yeah, and you can have multiple gigabit data working on the mobile network. So talking about smart home, as I mentioned, the brain of all this stuff I'm talking is the Fritz box. So, and around the Fritz box, you have smart home solutions like Fritz 500, yeah, like our telephones. These devices are measuring devices. You can program this interface, power interface, based on schedules, on time, on sunset, sun app, and those devices, there are switches, yeah, in order to control the other devices. Of course, you can control all the smart home devices with our telephones. So, and all these ideas and all these devices for smart home, again, for smart home and for all the applications we have for Android and also for iOS, they are developed in AVM. So we have our teams, different teams working together and making this possible, actually, what you see here. Now I am trying to show you how many different devices we have for different needs of the customer. You see our power line series of the devices, our repeaters, smart home. It is based on DECT ULE. So on DECT ULE, let me show you. I prepared here one page. I hope you you can see it. I have to again. Where was it? Here. Here we go. So this is a DECT ULE. Can you see the picture? I hope you can see it. Yeah. So this is a DECT ULE alliance. So the DECT ULE alliance is actually, let's say, controlling also the protocol and the standard. So you can buy different devices, not only our devices. Yeah, for smart home. So if I go here to the presentation, back to the presentation. So we have, beside all these devices, all the software we have on the left-hand side, you see the software, the apps we have for iPhone, for let's say iOS, and also for Android. They are working together. So we have apps for streaming the TV from the cable boxes, Fritz app TV. We have telephony apps where actually you don't need any telephone to be connected to the Fritz box. You just install the app and register on the Fritz box, and you can make calls or you can receive calls. So, what the software did. Now better? No. It's okay now? Okay, perfect. So you see all these all the devices we have, they communicate together. The brain is at the Fritz box. And so since we have a lot of different Fritz boxes for different connections, so customers, they can exactly choose what they want and what they like, they would like to have. Here we have also our, let's say, famous Fritz Box 7590 in the AX variant. You see 7590. You see also the smaller sister of the or brother of the box is 7530, and Fritz Box 7583. Maybe some words. I go faster here to the AX variant. You see here what is possible. We have also ISDN interface, S041 basic rate interface, integrated since the beginning, actually. As you know, Germany was a ISDN country, and a lot of people invested in ISDN telephones. And of course, they don't want to change their environment, and they like the Fritz box because, yeah, they don't need to remove their existing devices or telephones. So these are the features of the Fritz box. It is supporting 35p for Vdsl, and it's calling super vectoring up to 300 megabit. It has Wi-Fi 6 integrated, and yeah, multi-band 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz. This one actually regarding the extension the same, but only the Wi-Fi interface is different. It's a 4x4 multi-user MIMO interface. So now if you go to the AX variant of the smaller device, here you see only one port, one analog port, but it has also Wi-Fi 6 integrated, 2x2 and 3x3 on 5 gigahertz. And of course, the USB interface can be used for UPnP media server and for saving faxes, as I mentioned, inside the USB interface, inside the device. So the same one here without AX, but maybe now this is also quite new device. It's around 6 months old or 1 year maybe. And here we support bonding. We support Vdsl bonding or G.fast bonding. We have two different devices, 7583 Vdsl and 7583 G.fast. And here you can use the bonding feature in order to have connections up to 2 gigabit connection on the or up to 4 if you are using G.fast, megabit on wires, let's say on 4 wires. So, and it has 2 times ISDN interface. So, and those ISDN interfaces are synchronized. That means you can connect or you can make calls, up to 4 calls you can make through ISDN with the ISDN interface out of the box.